Every person has a soul, and we would say that the soul is what makes a person who they are. That it is the spiritual portion of a person. We are a whole being, body, mind, spirit. We are a whole person, and often what affects the body will also affect the spirit, the spiritual side of things, the soul of a person, how they view God, how they view the world. Is That's the soul, and the physical body affects that soul as well. Snickers, over the past couple of years, has come out with their commercials saying, "You are not you when you are hungry. Eat a Snickers." And in one sense, that's true. As we are physically hungry, we can face all sorts of different things. We can face a headache. We can face hunger pains. We can be moody and irritable. A parent can yell at their kid when they're having a painful headache, something that they might not usually do. Might say things that we wouldn't usually say. And in one sense, then Snickers kind of has that right, as we're not always ourselves when are hungry. But the soul, which we would say is who we are. It's our personality. It makes you you. Uh, when death occurs, whether you believe in an afterlife or not, we have to recognize that the soul is there. Does the soul forever just disappear? That's something that there are different opinions on and different beliefs upon. But one thing that can be agreed on is that there is a soul, that there is this part of us that experiences the world and can be hurt. We say sometimes that our soul is broken, our spirit is broken, and certainly that can happen for the person who has faced loss. They say, "My soul is broken. I'm not the same person that I was before I suffered this loss of a husband or a wife or a child or a sibling. I'm just not the same. My soul has been changed." And what do we do when the soul has been so affected? And it's not always an easy answer. For some, it will be we turn to God, asking Him to be with us. For others, the question will be, well, where is God? Where is God in my suffering? Where is God in my pain? Is there even a God? And so we'll wrestle with all sorts of questions as our soul has been touched by death. And those questions need to be asked. Sometimes there will be anger at God. Sometimes there's anger at the illness that took the loved one, or the tragedy that took the loved one, or maybe even the person whose hand may have been played a part in the loss of of another person's life. But in any case, we understand that the soul needs to be cared for. That part of us doesn't simply heal over time. Time is not the great healer, but quite often we must turn to God, or we must turn to friends or family, or even a counselor that helps us to work through those things. But it's important for us to realize the need that the soul must be cared for, especially for somebody that is going through grief and sees and remembers the loss that they have taken. I can't imagine the loss of a child. I can't even yet imagine the loss of a parent, but certainly it is something that hurts the soul, that will even change the soul forever. We say, I'm always going to miss that person. People will say, a part of me is gone. And that has to be cared for. And as someone who's going to walk beside people going through grief, it's so important to find ways to minister to the soul, whether that be through maybe prayer, maybe that's through reading to somebody, maybe that's through poems. So many poems have been written about death and dying, that help us, on our recovery of health to the soul. And so it's a great key for caregivers to be able to reach out in those ways and to know that we are not just dealing with a body or with a mind, but we're dealing with someone's very soul, uh, and that should cause us to be very, very mindful uh, as caregivers.